Hola, ¿cómo estás? Welcome to my channel. I go by Mercedes Lens, and here we discuss and analyze many topics, and you get a sneak peek through my lens on said topics. We have fun here, so if you're down for that, sit back, relax, grab your ice cream. I definitely have mine, and let's get into the video. We are gathered here to discuss another episode of Divorce Court. If you don't know what that is, I will suggest you go back to my introduction video. It'll tell you all you need to know about it, because I'm not going to go over it again. We're just going to keep trekking forward and you'll catch on eventually. So nonetheless, let's get into it. So today we are here to discuss Anita and Alton Mason. Anita is 34, a wine consultant and entrepreneur. Alton is 34, retired European professional basketball player, and he's been playing for 10 years. They've been married for 12 years, have 4 children. They met when they were 14 in high school. Anita is ready to call it quits. Okay, she wants no parts, honey. And Alton wants to save their marriage. Anita says that Alton has been blessed to be a basketball player in Europe for the last 10 years. However, recently he just up and retired without any warning or discussion with her, putting them in a financial trouble and cause a huge change in their lifestyle. Alton claims that she knew about the retirement because she was there when he met with his manager, and the manager asked if he wanted another contract or another season, and he was like no, and that was his way of letting his wife know that on the spot he was retiring. Sometimes, yes, it is very true, do not judge a book by its cover. However, sometimes that cover will tell you a lot. It will tell you a lot. And by his stance, just the way he moves around, I truly believe him being a European basketball player has gotten to this man's head. So Judge Toler asked him that since it was such a big life decision, didn't he think it was something that he should have talked to his wife about before he made that decision? Alton replies, no. He says, because I am the man of the house. Okay. He said basically that he was raised that a man can listen to his wife's input, but the man makes the final decision. And the judge pointed out that he didn't do that though. His reasoning was that he was thinking, well, why not retire when he's, healthy and strong? Why does he have to wait basically until he's injured and basically forced to retire? Which I get that. However, the judge calls bullshit, and I do too. The judge calls him out and lets him know that it was a jerk move. I don't know, it's like a whiplash type of reaction. Just up and decide, make a big decision like that without consulting her. Yeah, that definitely will rub me the wrong way. So, as I said, the judge basically says that's a jerk move, and I agree. And she tries to explain why, but he proceeds to try to talk over her. Like, bruh, do you not know who courtroom you're in? She's not in your courtroom, bruh. Like, chill the out. Basically, judge had to check his and well deserved. This guy made me very triggered me in a lot of ways. We just talked about emotional intelligence and controlling emotions, and I agree that's very important, but this dude is pushing it. Judge says that was a jerk move, and she explained that although he makes the final decision, at least have the courtesy and dignity to talk with his wife. How her and her children lives are going to change. He doesn't just drop it on her lap in a meeting. That's just plain and simple. He wasn't thinking about everybody. He was just thinking about himself, and which is fine to think about yourself, but you're also not a single man. You're a husband with kids, so you have to consider that as well before you make rash decisions. But nonetheless, do you think he listens? No. He tries to come up with some type of sorry excuse of saying that Anita has been riding good for the last 10 years because of him, and so it makes it okay. Judge Toler shuts that down though, and she said the bottom line is they're a married couple, and as such they discuss major life decisions, period. To not at least discuss it with her is a jerk move. Anyway, old boy decides to get cute and tells Judge, wait a minute. Judge Lynn Toler was not arrogant. She reminded him very, 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 very tastefully of who the room he is in. Anita then continues to describe a scenario where before he decided to retire, one of their children had fallen ill pretty badly, and they didn't have insurance, and so they had to pay out of pocket, and that depleted basically all of their savings. $130,000. And yet he still retired without any savings. Definitely didn't think that decision through. Judge asked him what his profession is now, and he says that he's basically in school because he wants to do coaching. And Anita says that he's not making any money, and she's the breadwinner now. She started her own business doing wine consulting, and Judge gives her all the flowers, stepping up when he stepped down, which is cool. As Judge trying to give her flowers, he gonna try to on her dreams and basically say, oh, is that a hobby or is that a gig?
What did he say?
You shouldn't be saying Judge then asked him, do you get your health insurance through her? And his butt is gonna say, yeah. People like this irritates me. He says yes, he gets his insurance through her, and so he should definitely shut the up. And Judge Toler pretty much says that you should be quiet then. Judge Lynn Toler had a dilemma that she needed answered by Alton. She wanted to know why did he decide to retire with only $100,000 in his savings after 10 years, and why did he feel like that was enough to retire on? Like, after 10 years, that's the only thing you have. And so his response was to blame Anita for spending all the money that he earned, and that's why he couldn't save more over the last 10 years, which, you know, I can kind of see that. Like, with the lifestyle, you know, the cars or the fancy parties and blah, 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 and the shoes and the, you know, best schools, and you know, I can see that. They basically go back and forth, and whether she had adjusted her spending since his retirement. Alton gave an example of her spending $2,000 on summer clothes while it's springtime and the rent is due. Anita says she paid the rent, and so they basically go back and forth about whether she's responsible with the money or whether she pays extravagant amount for like material things of her hair, nails, or whatever. Toler shifts her focus on Anita's other concerns that Anita has, which is basically Alton's gambling problem. So she gives an example of them going to the casino together, and it was getting to a point where she felt like they didn't need to be there for real. And so she went to the car in hopes that he would get the memo of we should probably get ready to leave. She fell asleep, and when she woke up, she was still in the car. And guess what time it was? Guess what time it was? Oh wait. Did you? No, 7 a.m. honey, 7 in the morning, and he was still in the casino. And guess what? Oh wait, go ahead, guess. She still had to go get his ass. So right there, huge red flag. If that retirement thing wasn't a red flag, this absolutely was a red flag. We're in the casino spending a whole lot of money. All right, it's about time to go. We didn't spend quite a bit. We reached our limit. So I get in the car because you're not ready to go yet. Fine. But if I go in the car, I'm expecting you to be not too much longer before you get in the car with me so we can go home and enjoy the rest of our night in our beds. And yet I'm asleep in the car, and I wake up and the sun is beaming on my face because it's 7 o'clock in the morning. And you're still, and I have to go get... This mother is a trigger. His reply was, he says basically gambling is like a hobby that he does 5 days a week. Like, who are you trying to convince? 5 days a week as a boy, please. And so Anita recalled the time where they had an argument over the gambling problem, and to make it up to her, he took her to a nice restaurant. And when she woke up after going, they went to bed together. After she woke up in the middle of the night, because her phone was ringing, and it was him at the casino. On top of that, he took the $2,000 that was for their rent from her to use while he was at the casino, and he lost it all. But his reply to that story was, when you get married, it's not your money, it's our money.
Say, hold up, wait a minute.
Judge Toler asked if it was true, and he was going to say, well, it was our money. And Judge was like, oh, but it was your money earlier when she was spending the money on things from the money you earned, right? So that ownership, when he was making the money, she made it a point to spend it. He claimed it, oh, that's my money because he made it. But the money that she's earned is not her money, according to him. It's their money. Judge Lynn Toler called that contradiction out. Basically, like when she's spending the money that he earned, it was his money. But when he goes to spend the money that she's earned, it's their money. His excuse was, oh, he was trying to get more money. But he didn't make more money. So he lost it. And it was for their rent. He doesn't have many small, regular red flags. This type of dude has multiple red flags. You see this dude, run, and don't look back. Run like he's Jason. Run like he's Freddy Krueger. Run like your life depends on it. They moved on from that situation, and then Judge Toler shifted to Anita and asked if she spent $1,000 on hair and nails, and Anita said yes. And Judge Toler was like, nah, you can't be, like, come on, bro, you can't be doing that. Like, when it comes to that, I understand you trying to keep yourself up, but not no $1,000, bro. Judge Toler had enough. She had words, honey. She had words to say, and she was ready to get the heck up out of there. She had enough of this dude. She didn't like him. I think she said she didn't like him at some point in the episode. She made it very clear that she didn't like him, and honey, I didn't like him either. Like, he reeks unlikable. He's not a likable person, very cocky and conceited, not in a good way, not like in a confidence, and you're confident in yourself and your abilities, not in a humble way at all, in a more of a I think I'm a big shot. Nonetheless, she began to make her ruling, or as I call it, a word, honey. She said to the both of them that they both need to take a course on money and how to manage it. Agreed. She stressed to Anita that spending $1,000 on hair is foolishness. There's other ways to get the result for the price cut down, which I agree. You ain't gotta pay $1,000 to get the result you want. There are other avenues, other ways. Hell, you can do it yourself. But she also, talks to Anita and was like, she's not her hair. She's more than that. It's about what's underneath the hair, inside the hair. So it's about your intelligence, who you are as a person, your education. You know what I mean? It's about that. I can get down with that message. She called Alton the biggest jerk she has talked to in months, and she don't like him. Yeah, I don't like him either. Like, he's very unlikable. Basically, she was like, she don't like him. She doesn't know what happened to him, if he thought he was cute or his head grew because he was a pro athlete in Europe. But he's deep in the jerk territory. And she said that very nicely, because that's definitely not what I would have said. I would have called him a bum. Like I said, he's very triggering. And so she didn't think that he could be fixed. And so she recommended that Anita leaves him. But whatever is wrong with Anita can be fixed. And because Alton doesn't listen, there's not much hope for him to be fixed. And when I say that is a word, though, and let's just take Anita and Alton out of it. When you don't have the capability to listen and you're just always trying to be heard, that's a problem. Because you always have to be open to listen. The best leaders, the best managers don't lead successfully without listening first. You have to listen to the need of your partner, of your team, of your children, or whomever, you in order to make sound decisions, instead of you just trying to get your point across, because you can very well be wrong. A lot of times we lean on to our own biases and what we think is right, and we don't have the headspace to be introspective and to be objective to a lot of things, and sometimes other people's experiences. It's very important to take all of that in if you're able to, because sometimes it's hard to navigate through life when the only advice you rely on is your own. Sometimes it's very hard, and it's very needed to get all the advice you can. As somebody special always said to me, chew the fat, spit out the bones. Take what you can get, and what you can't, keep it moving, throw it out. You won't always take in everything that somebody says, but if certain key points that applies to you that you can take it, and everything else is irrelevant. You can learn a lot from a fool. And I can honestly say, like, for example, thanks to the bad experiences that I've had with horrible leaders, through those experiences I understood what it took to be a good leader. But a lot of people can't see that. If you are trying to just be heard all the time and don't have the time to really sit back and listen, you're gonna make foolish decisions every time. And this guy has made foolish decision after foolish decision, that you're just making rash decisions without any forethought, without any thinking through. That's a problem. And so if he continues to do that, he's not, like she said, there's no way to fix him. Anita was suing Alton for the $2,000 that he took from her that was supposed to be for the rent to gamble. And I I know what you're thinking. A lot of times in these cases, you can't really sue your husband or your wife or your spouse, because legally, by law, you guys share money. His money is your money, her money is your money. Share those funds together. And so it's like you're suing yourself. However, she explains the law about the misappropriation of marital funds. And basically, a judgment is not normally given to the spouses if they're still married, except for this one exception. And guess what? The one exception is the exact scenario that Alton did to Anita. The one situation that is allowed is exactly what Alton did when he took that $2,000 money and gambled it. That was for the rent. That's the only okay for a spouse to sue the other spouse. And because of that, she was awarded the $2,000. The episode ended basically saying that they're still together. I guess it's the history, because they've been together since they were 14. So I guess that's the only thing she has holding on to. But otherwise, girl, please, goodbye if it was me. So yeah, there's no update that I could find as of late if they're still together and whatnot. If I happen to see any updates with them, I'll be sure to share that, probably in a community post or something like that. But other than that, we're left with the sad conclusion of they're still together. With that said, that concludes this episode. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, please feel free to come back. Tell me your thoughts. Tell me your opinions. What do you think about this? Otherwise, if we don't meet again, I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. And until we meet again, bye.